right, welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Coach Larry's podcast. I'm Coach Larry. I've got some special guests with me today. I've got one of the best assistant coaches, coach extraordinaire that I've ever worked with, Coach Frank Strangio, and some of the most talented people I have ever had the privilege of coaching. My captains this year, Miss Alyssa Strangio, Luciana Strangio, and Emma Hurley. Welcome, everybody. Of course, I'm talking about the Niagara Wheatfield girls soccer team. But again, we're going to talk a little bit about this in the beginning, but not just soccer players. We have soccer players, softball players, lacrosse players, all across the board. Before we get into that, though, girls, I want to ask, first of all, welcome. Thank you guys for coming. And how's summer going?
Really good. We've been together a lot this summer. No, it's been nice playing a lot of soccer. We just won Niagara Pioneers, so that's good.
I've been seeing a lot of the social media updates from your dad, so that's been awesome. Emma,
a lot of
how's...
a lot of grad parties.
It's that time of year. It's that time of year. And Luch?
A lot of soccer, a lot of tanning. Just got my driver's license.
Yes, Luciana.
All right. Are you the first of the group there to get the driver's license?
Emma's had it since like February.
October.
Yeah. And
oh, wow. Okay.
I got mine in April.
Okay, so Emma's the veteran driver over there.
I am.
Emma's our driver.
Yeah, they're taking my job now.
I was going to say, Emma, I was one of the first ones from my group to get the driver's license, so I always had to kind of drive my friends around until they got theirs. It kind of got to be a pain in the butt after a while. How was it for you? Were you the primary friend driver at the beginning?
I mean, yeah, but then Brielle got hers like a little bit after me, so it wasn't bad.
Okay, so you got some quick relief.
So for during soccer season, Emma would drive us around, but then Brielle got it in December, so that was good.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. We're going to get right into it because I know you guys are on a crunch limit. You guys, in fact, got soccer practice later today. I love it. We talked a little bit in the beginning. I just mentioned playing different sports. And, Coach, I wonder if you can talk about this a little bit. How important do you feel like it is just for that athlete to play different sports, whether it's for me, soccer was always my primary, but then I also did track and field a couple times. I also did tennis. I was always doing different sports, whether it was a stay in shape for soccer or just different part of conditioning. How do you feel nowadays how important is that for the younger athlete?
Coach, we've had this discussion. I'm a big proponent of multi-sport athletes. They're for a lot of reasons. First of all, I think playing many sports makes you better at each sport. If you are a great soccer player, but you play lacrosse or you play softball, it works different muscles. It teaches you different skills and different disciplines, and those translate over athletics. And it also, works different parts of your body at different times, so you're not overloading those parts of the body that are always the same. And then I just feel like that all translates and gives you a better overall knowledge and makes you a better all-around athlete. And I think that a better all-around athlete is better than a specialized athlete, in my opinion, and I've seen it. So, on the boys' side, the hockey players when they were younger are always the ones that are way ahead of all the soccer players. And the hockey coaches have told me the same. Their soccer players come in and they're way better hockey players because of it. And it translates across all sports. So, yeah, I'm a big proponent of, I know you get these coaches that say, nope, you're on this team and that's it. And to me, you're setting that kid up long-term for failure. I think that they should experience all sports. And I get at some point maybe specializing, but at younger ages, I think it's vitally important for them to play a lot of sports. Plus, you don't know what you're best at when you're that young.
I agree. And I feel like sometimes, too, you get some of these athletes that if they start soccer, as young as like 6, 7, 8 years old, and they're just doing soccer or just doing softball or just doing lacrosse, I feel like some of the athletes you might get a very good player, but by the time they're in high school and getting ready to go to softball or college, they kind of get burnt out of that sport just because they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I definitely agree in the multi-purpose sport. Now, Emma, you're a big softball player, soccer player, obviously. Do you feel any of the skills or any of the stuff that you do, whether it's on the soccer field, that translates over to the softball diamond or vice versa? Like, how important do you feel just being that really where you have two major sports and you're dominant on the track and field too, if you for indoor too, triple threat? But do you feel like sometimes you get like playing softball has kind of made you a little bit better at soccer, or playing soccer is translated over to softball?
Yeah, like definitely. I feel like a lot of it has to do with like the fast twitch muscles. Like I feel like, I play soccer and I have to react quickly to get the ball, and it kind of translates to having to swing quickly or whatever.
Okay.
It's like hand in hand.
No, absolutely. I was going to say, I know it's a different, and people don't realize that either. Sometimes, well, it's baseball or it's softball. It's not going to translate over into soccer. You're using your foot, you're using a base. But like you said, with the fast twitch muscles, just making those quick decisions, it can translate over very well. And then Luch and Alyssa, both lacrosse players. How do you feel?
Just me.
Just Luch. I thought you played lacrosse too.
Luch is flag football.
Flag football. I'm sorry, flag football. Gee, coach didn't do his homework. All right, how funny is that? But we'll talk lacrosse first.
Coach, I didn't prep you.
The side of a true assistant coach, always willing to take up for the coach's mistake. Alyssa, how about you for lacrosse? Kind of the same question. You feel like the sports can kind of translate?
I always say it's like soccer with a stick. Lacrosse is soccer with a stick. Because even though you technically are using your hands in the sport, lacrosse is footwork. Like if you don't have the footwork, you're not going to be good at lacrosse. And especially I play defense, so I am doing footwork the whole time, and that's exactly what I do in the midfield at soccer. So it translates nicely. And it's also a lot of like quick reaction and just being able to put a body on it. And
then Luch, especially with flag football just becoming more and more popular, do you see a lot of like multi-athlete or multi-sport athletes in there, or do you see like a lot of girls that it's flag football, they just kind of specialize in football?
No, yeah, it's all multi-sport. And it helped me, like, I can read the plays much better, especially on defense. Like, I'm able to, like, know where you're going to go because I can just, like, especially in soccer, like, that's just, like, what you learned. So it's easy in flag football, too.
Now, obviously in soccer, you're a big-time defender. What position do you play in flag football?
Last year I played wide receiver, and then I started playing center and D-line this year, and I really like D-line because I'm able to, like, notice where the quarterback's going to go, like, and read the play. So.
Okay. Emma, how about you in softball? What do you play?
I do second and outfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And Emma's a great, in fact, I've got a couple good Emma stories, but we'll share some of them later. But I love the fact, too, that you play different positions. Do you guys find it, regardless of the sport, do you find it better to have played some of the different positions before you really specialize? Like, Emma, did you always play those two positions when you started off in softball, or did you kind of try the outfield, try pitching, or was it just I gravitated right towards that right away?
For me, so for softball, I started a little late. Like I was 22, and I used to be like primarily like second. And then kind of when I started getting older, I wanted to try more in the outfield because of my speed. So I opened it up.
If you had a preference, like, do you wish you would have tried something else? Or let me put it this way. Is there a position in softball that you would never like, nope, I don't want to play that? Like for me, I know in soccer, and I think it's a lot of people, never want to play goaltender. I never played goaltender.
For real?
Did you really?
Yeah, I tried catcher one time. We were like up in a tournament, so I tried it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that when you were just coming back?
No, that's when I just got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, no. Like I feel like all the positions, like they're different in their own way, and they're all fun. And honestly, like if you play second, you can play shortstop too, and if you play shortstop, you can play third. So all of them kind of, you can mix it around.
It translates.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, it's funny you say catcher, because even just bringing up catcher position, like my knees are hurting just talking about it, and I never played catcher. Did you notice, like, were your knees killing you after you played like a game in it?
Well, that was before I got hurt, so it wasn't bad. My knees were healthy then, but I just kind of did like with a one leg out stance. I wasn't very good at it, but we got 3 outs in the inning, so.
Was it just something like the coach wanted, hey, we need you to play catcher, or was just something like, I want to try catching?
Yeah, I just want to try. We were up a decent amount in the game, so we mixed everyone around a little bit. So I got an opportunity. I was happy. Okay,
very cool. I was going to say, Frank, Coach, I feel like I cut you off there. It looked like you had something to say.
No, that's okay. Emma talked a little bit about being hurt, and I'm sure you'll get into injuries on that. But Emma's a cyborg. She's back playing after like 7 months of ACL tear. So what we could talk about later. But I did want to say one thing. I feel like blessed to be in the surroundings of three superstars, and these girls make me so proud all the time. What and everything they do. But we're missing one captain, so we should shout out Brielle, because Brielle is visiting a school in Virginia for track. Another multi-sport athlete. She's a fantastic soccer player. She does it all, but she's one of the fastest, next to Emma, fastest human beings around. And she's going to University of Virginia or University of Richmond right now for a visit for track. So that's your fourth captain, Coach.
Absolutely. And it's, and I've said this a couple times, I'm going into my third year at Wheatfield coaching. And not only has it been awesome, just the amount of talent that I've coached over the last 2 years and now this into the third year, but just you could tell when you walk into a team how much everybody likes each other, how much the players want to play for each other. And with this team, it was just, it was something you notice as an outsider, I was 2 years ago, you just notice right away. Like the second you walk onto the field, you're like, all right, everybody's vibing, everybody's getting along. Not to say that, people don't have their arguments with each other. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mark Santangelo, one of my best friends to this day, we played together for 5-6 years in soccer. We had many of arguments on the field, so you don't always get along with your teammates, but it was just so awesome to see.
Competitive nature is what it is.
Absolutely.
Right? You all want to win. Get to the same
and
goal.
It's just so awesome to see that everybody, even though you have your arguments, or it's like family, you shake it off, or the next day it's like it never happened.
Coach, that leads to success. We're all on our Wolves team together, right? And I say it all the time, we're a team, whereas other teams are collections of individuals, and these girls have become such a family. And they play for the win, they play for competition, but they play for each other and with each other. And I'll take a team over a bunch of superstars any day of the week. Not that we have talent out the wazoo, but in addition to that, they play together as a team. You get all these Empire, Flash, whatever. Now I'm going to get in trouble for calling people out, but all of these premier things, and they're all awesome, whatever. But the point is that our tiny club, because we are a family and play as a team, that we play really well together. And that translates always team first.
Absolutely. And girls, how important is it that you, like Coach said, you played high school soccer together, you played travel soccer together. How important do you three feel that adds to your development throughout the years? Like, how important do you feel that is?
I can't imagine playing with anybody else. I always say that is my mom and me were talking about it the other day. It's we were made to play with each other, but it's so nice because we just build chemistry with each other. I haven't played with Emma in a while, but we had a captain's practice the other day, and it just felt natural passing her the ball. It felt like my girl's back, she's here, and it's just nice. And I know where Luciana's gonna go. I know where Emma's gonna go. I'll know where Brielle's gonna go, and I can play the ball to her even if she's on the other side of the field. It's just nice to know that you have that comfort level and that you have chemistry. And it's good to play with each other growing up, because you just build a relationship that's hard to beat.
I also know where Emma's going to go. Straight to net, and she's going to score.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. I mean, camaraderie is one of the biggest things in the sport. And when you play with girls for a long time, it definitely helps out.
Yeah. I think that we all play for each other a lot. And, we get scored on, we're all going to go 10 times harder to make up for one girl's mistake. We treat each other as family, and one person's down or worse play, we're going to make it up for them.
Now, have you ever had a time where either of you three, doesn't have to be soccer, but any sport, have you ever had a time where you guys have had to compete against each other?
Yeah, we used to play in a different team than Emma.
Yeah.
Really?
And
That's true.
I remember this. It was during COVID. We were at Fairmount Park playing a game, and this girl put up maybe 9 goals on us. And I was like, "Girl, please, just come to our team."
I was playing defense, and I was just laughing.
And then
now, were you friends with Emma beforehand?
Yeah. We know.
Okay, Emma, how did playing against them, Emma, did you kind of go into the game with a little bit more juice? I'm gonna, try a little harder?
I had to show off a little bit.
Absolutely. I know anytime, no matter what the sport, if I was playing somebody I knew, especially in soccer, I would go 20 times harder. It was just, And again, at the end of the game, you're shaking hands, you're giving high fives, whatever. But during those games, I always went a lot harder. And those were the games that were fun. And especially for me, like, I don't know if I should admit this or not, but I was a huge trash talker when I played, like huge.
Larry,
I'd sit there and you always trash talk the guy that you know. And it was so funny. I mean, and you expect it back for them.
We generally don't start it. These
finish
girls
it.
will finish it. They'll finish it. Both, they try not to do it verbally, but sometimes it comes across. And these are not low intelligence girls; they're high intelligence girls. So that verbal lashing is very quick witted and very intelligent usually. And then they also put the ball in the back of the net, and they finish it that way too. So
I think it almost motivates me more when teams start talking. Like when their parents start talking, that gets me. Or
like you follow our girl,
or you
we're
follow
gonna
our girl,
you 10
then
times
we're like,
harder.
okay, let's go.
Absolutely. And can I tell you, nothing, whether a player or as a coach, nothing makes me like enjoy it when you're winning and you start hearing the trash talking from the crowd. You start hearing the chirping, whether it's from parents, whatever, from the crowd. That always made me play better. Like I had some of my best games as at away games on the road. You always play better in front of you always play good in front of your home crowd. But for me, especially a travel game, I love playing on the road because especially if it was a team going against a team where you start hearing the talking right from the beginning. Oh, this team is trash. We're going to roll them. There's no way they can beat us. And next thing you know, 10 minutes into the game, you're up 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. And then you start hearing less and less and less and less.
Shut them up.
And it's nothing is better than shutting up the home crowd. How do you guys feel? Do you guys like playing in front of your home crowd better, or do you like playing on the road a little bit?
Home crowd.
Now, I can tell you one thing. There is nothing like playing in front of a home crowd at Niagara Wheatfield. That was my biggest learning curve. Like that first game, I remember, and I've played at that stadium, but on the other side while I was coaching. We don't talk about the school that I was coaching, but you never really noticed it. But man, that first home game when there's like the stadium or the stands were packed, they're chanting or whatever. Next thing you know, they start chanting Coach Larry. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, this is awesome. But it's just so cool. So I gotta admit, there's nothing like playing in front of that Niagara Wheatfield crowd.
W Rowdies.
Wheatfield is family. It really is. Like we bought in. I know you said it. You could see the camaraderie. It sounds corny, but once you see Coulter, when the boys are playing behind them, there's always 4 or 5 alumni standing behind them. These guys come back, and it's a great thing. And we're talking about teammates and having your back. Another great Emma story was from last year. Some girl took a run at Marissa and really wailed her pretty good. The ref didn't call it. And Emma could not have gotten to that girl faster and shoulder blocked her right down, because she had her back and said, you're going to hit my player, you're going to face my ref.
That was one of the stories I was going to bring up, because as a coach, you're like, you see that, you're like, Emma, you can't do that. But then at the same time, you're like, yeah, like you want a player like that. As a coach, you don't want to condone it. You don't want to tell your players to go out and do that. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, somebody messes with one of ours. We're gonna show that we're there.
It's almost like hockey. Like, remember, it literally happened this season with the Sabres. Yeah, he got taken out and none of his teammates did anything about it.
Right.
And that sets a tone of like your culture as a program.
If the ref isn't going to take care of it, then sometimes players are going to nip it in the bud and take matters into their own hands. And again, we don't condone that and we don't start it, but I guarantee our girls are going to finish it.
No, 100%. And we know that referees always make the best calls and the right calls.
Oh yeah, they're great.
No, we don't want to get into that either.
I have video evidence, Coach.
Especially against a school in our league that is blue and yellow.
Starts with
You know
L
what?
and ends.
You know what? I was going to save this for later, but let's get into it now, because I've talked about this a little bit in some other episodes. In fact, I just talked about this with Trainer Joe in the last episode that we did. In fact, girls and Coach, I'm giving you a challenge. So I'll put the episodes up online on the YouTube channel, on X, on Twitter. So far, Trainer Joe's the shorts that we put on the little short episodes, the minute clips. So far, in 1 week, his clip has hit over 1,200 viewers. It's been viewed over 1,200 times. Now, I'm putting that challenge out. I'm putting that challenge out there. We love Joe. Love Joe. But we got to see in 1 week time. I'm giving you the same time that Trainer Joe got. So Trainer Joe had 1 week and he had, I think it was 1,270 something views. So we're going to see if we can bump that and beat that. You'll have 1 week. We'll find out next week if we're able to top it or not. But getting into that, I don't want to go over the whole game and I don't want to go over what happened the previous game. But from a player's perspective on the field, kind of setting it up, we score with about a little over 8 minutes left to go up by 2, sectional semifinal game. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, goal disallowed was a terrible offsides call. Not only that, the quick restart, the lob, kick over the head when I didn't think our team was ready. Lockport shoots, scores, they tie it. They end up beating us in the first overtime. From a player's perspective, like being on the field, like I know Coach and I were livid on the sidelines. I'd love to hear from your thoughts as what did you think was going, like how did you feel on the field?
I mean, he always preaches like control the controllables. Like doesn't matter who you're playing, doesn't matter who's reffing your game, control what you control. And we did that. We controlled what we controlled and we scored 3 goals and we scored 3 fair goals. We scored 3 fair goals and they scored 2 not so fair goals. The first one went out of bounds, didn't go out of bounds, whatever. The second one, we're talking to the ref. The ref is having a full conversation with me and Luciana, and they play the ball. And the player that scored even stopped and waited about 5 seconds to shoot the ball because she knew that, why is the game starting? So I just think it was really like disheartening because I know that we all worked very hard, and to see them take a goal away from us and then give them a goal right away, it was hurtful. It was hurtful because it almost put a damper on like all of our mood, and like not saying that we all didn't try, but you saw us all come off before the overtime. We were all so like, oh my God, like how did this happen? We were upset, and it just switched the game for sure.
Yeah. 100%. And thanks for reminding me because I totally forgot that the first goal was out of bounds, but that
controversial.
Luch, what do you think? What were some of your thoughts?
I think that we were always the team to beat in the season. And if that wasn't put in the ref's head, I feel like nobody said it, but it was. Like, I think that we were beaten down in a way that was not fair. But we all played for each other, but we definitely realized, oh my gosh, it's overtime in a semifinal game. This may be our last game ever together. And I think that really took a toll on everyone, and it made everyone was tired. Everyone was worn out. Everyone was upset about the calls, and like everything was happening so fast. Like they didn't even give us a second to reset when they gave us that kick. So
no, and I thought, well, maybe I'm over exaggerating. But the first thing that the NCCC coaches came up to us, the SUNY Niagara coaches came up to us, and Chris Durr, the Clarence coach, who was there as well, and the Buff State. The first thing that they said when they came up to us was, "Man, that was such a quick start. Man, I can't believe they didn't explain anything to you." So that's when I was like, "All right, this is garbage."
They didn't even explain it to like us. They didn't even tell us the ball. I don't even think they blew a whistle. Like genuinely, I did not.
Well, if you look at the thing, he blew the whistle. He stopped the clock. He made the X sign to stop the clock. Which, and believe me, I've talked to this about 3 or 4 good buddies of mine who are referees. The fact that he stopped the clock, he didn't have to, but should have come over and given an explanation since the clock was stopped, and there should have been an acknowledgement on a restart. At that point, it was almost kind of like restarting at the half or doing a penalty kick. You don't just, if you're taking a penalty shot, you don't just let the player put the ball down, shoot and score.
Or if fine, you don't want to talk to the coaches, talk to the captains. Have a discussion.
That's what they're there for.
Give a second to reset. You know, it was these guys, I think, encapsulated it perfectly. It was disheartening. It was demoralizing because we had a few of those. We went into the season where we lost our goalie a week before the season. So we were playing with an all-star team and no goalie. That team that beat us 3 times never had to face Emma, right? She was injured. So that game we played without her as well. But we still fought, and we had the 3-2 to lead. But the thing that's the worst about it is their player played the ball back to their own player, and he took the ball from her and scored, and they called offside. They played the ball. The ref was right there. He saw it. The guy was waving his flag, and the ref waved him off. Then after the goal, he went to talk to him and changed his mind. Now, they played the ball. Can't be offside, right? So we know that. Bad call. Okay, it's a bad call. But now, let us recover.
We're still up 2-1.
And then,
we're still up 2-1.
And they said it. So 3-3, when we walked off the field, I saw everybody's faces. They were drained, and they said, this is the fourth time this year this has happened to us. We lost 4 games all season. It was an unsuccessful season because we were expected to go very far. But we only lost 4 games, and every single one of them was won by 1 goal, and 2 of those games were in overtime. So if you think about what we accomplished and how close it was, and how in multiple of those games there were controversial calls that aided it, you never want to blame the ref. Take care of business. But when you feel like you're playing against 12, it's emotionally draining. And I think those girls they came off the field spent, and they didn't have it for the overtime.
And our first-year goalie let in 7 goals the entire season.
Right.
And more than half of them, same team, and they were free kicks or out of bounds.
No, Layla played her butt off. She was put in a very, very tough situation. She played her tail off. Now, again, you talked a little bit about this in the last game of the season where we played Lockport, there was another controversial where I don't think the ball crossed the line. The goaltenders didn't think the ball crossed the line. Some of the Lockport players didn't think that the ball crossed the line. Next thing you know, the referee, who was not on the line, he was not in a position to make that call from about 5-10 yards away, makes the call, which gave them the tying goal with, I want to say, about the same time, maybe a little less. Maybe there was only 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. They tie it. They beat us in overtime. For you guys, was there any of that coming back to you like, my God, not again, not the same team? Like, come on, what do we have to do?
Weren't you front post? You were front post on that. I
watched her before the NFL.
Watch it go out.
Yeah. That was right before the NFL championship. Yep.
I was able to clear it, and I was right there.
Like, we might have showed every single teacher in our school that video.
I was never so like shocked and like upset in my life. Like, and that actually made me like livid, because I was like, how are you gonna call that if you're not even over there? It just makes me think like we need live footage
and especially that team. What did we say before the season? What did we see in their bathroom, their sign that said Humble Niagara Wheatfield? That's what we said.
I don't think we're a very cocky team either.
I don't. Honestly.
I think we are very humble. And I think what makes us so good is that we all play for each other. I think that nobody has the chemistry that we have at our school.
I agree. And now, Emma, you got hurt, right? Was it a game before the Lockport game, 2 games before the Lockport game? It was very close to the second Lockport game where you had, the 3 letters that no coach, no player ever wants to say, that injury. How was it from your perspective, just, being on the sidelines? And like Coach said, you're bionic. Believe me, I know if there's anybody that could go out there and play with an ACL, it would have been you. Talk about it. How was it from your perspective, just being there, being with your team, and just knowing that, man, they're getting screwed?
It was kind of annoying because there's points where like I felt like, oh, I wish I could be out there to help them out right now. And I thought about being like geared up and ready to go out, but it's just like having to watch them go through that, and then like seeing the emotion when they're coming off, and like talking them through like it's okay, like you can't control that, just play your game. And it was hard seeing their emotions, but they still did good.
Yeah, no. In fact, with speaking with Trainer Joe again, after I think it was the day or 2 days after when we found out, the injury was what it was, I was talking with Joe about it on the sideline, and I kind of looked at Joe. I was like, Emma can tough it out. I was like, if she plays, is it going to ruin it anymore? Like, is she going to do any damage? Because she could really play in it. I mean, I kind of said that jokingly, but like I said, if there's any player that I know that would have gotten the green light. I'm sure if Trainer Joe, which he never would have, but if Trainer Joe would have said, "Oh, you can play with it. Sure, you're going to get it stitched up in a couple weeks anyways." I'm sure you wouldn't have needed much convincing to get the cleats on, get the shin guards on, and go out there and do what you do.
But Sylvia would have had a different opinion. Yeah, obviously, Coach. I say all the time, we love winning, but we love them more than we love winning, right?
Absolutely. And like I said, I say that all in jest. There's no way Trainer Joe's putting you out there. There's no way I'm putting you out there.
No way you would have, and no way I would have. But
nope.
But I know what a competitor Emma is, and
she probably would have scored.
No, I know she would have, but I know how much it killed her.
Well, she was hurt, so maybe only 3.
Maybe.
But yeah, Emma's an incredible human being.
Yeah, in fact, Emma last year, or not last year, 2 years ago, my first year, we had talent all up and down the roster, and we had a lot of scorers, and Emma was asked to play sweeper position, which was like, all right, we had a couple just team scrimmages before our first game. She played great. In that first game, I remember Emma coming up to me, "Coach, I'm not quite sure how to play, like a little nervous. Just go out there and play." I think it was it Sacred Heart was our first game that year. We were it was I don't want to take anything away from them, but a little bit of a softer game to open up the season. And I was like, just go out there and have fun, just kind of expecting, maybe play for a little bit. By the end of the game, I remember Emma came up to me, "Coach, did I play all right?" And I'm like, "Did you play all right? Like, are you kidding? Like, I don't believe that this is the first time you've played sweeper. You just did it so naturally. You knew how to go back and play defense when you needed to. You knew how to attack and get into the offense. In fact, I think you scored a goal that game, maybe 2. I mean, it was just, you played it so seamlessly where you were going from attack to defense. And I just remember, it was like, there's no way this kid has never played this position before. What were your thoughts in that first game? Playing a position, not only that you claim you never played before, but just playing it at such a great level that you played it at.
It was hard at first, but I had a lot of support around me to tell me where to move and stuff. And my endurance was already pretty good, so it wasn't hard to go back and forth. And especially starting off with an easier team in that position, it definitely helped me get ready for the harder games.
Yeah, I mean,
can I just say something? With Emma, you can put her anywhere on the field and she's going to do well because she's a competitor, and that's just her. She would go and goal if you needed to, and she's a team first person. She made a lot of sacrifice that year to play defense because Emma is the definition of a striker and a goal scorer. She does it on her team. On our team, she scores. I can't tell you because I can't remember how many, because there's so many multi-goal games. We beat the second place team in one of the games where Emma scored 5 goals and Grace scored 4. And it was just incredible against a really good team. So it doesn't even really matter. Emma will play well no matter where she plays because she's that kind of competitor and kind of athlete. And she sacrificed for the team. And she's still, even from that position, I think she scored 5 goals, right?
Yeah.
And then this year, before she got hurt, I think you had 11 goals from that mistake.
Before she got hurt, she was on pace for, I want to say, 25, 30 goals. Wow. She was on pace for an incredible season. And that's why, even, Coach, I remember you and I kind of had some discussions, but all right, let's move Emma up to forward, but she plays so great at sweeper, but that first game when you played at forward, I was like, okay, I get it. Okay, she's a forward.
Coach,
she's a forward.
I lobbied you hard on that because I knew first, right? I know, and I pride myself on knowing soccer and where I think people should play and where they can play and get the best out of their abilities. But I know Emma is a goal scorer, and it paid off. It opened things up for everybody else too. Marissa scored a ton of goals because Emma was taking the heat off, and the same thing for Sydney. She takes the heat off everybody else because you can't ignore her. Right?
No, absolutely. Like I said, I'm more of a defense-minded coach. I'm more of a control the field. And the way that I saw Emma play on sweeper, I was like, she's my rock back there. But then when you were like forward, she's really a forward. I'll admit, I was very hesitant. But after that first game and after seeing you the way when you had got the ball, I'm kind of like, all right, I get it. She's a forward. She's going to go up there. She's going to score 3 goals a game, 4 goals a game. I mean, there are some teams, if you wanted to, you could have rocked 10 in the back of the net.
That was one of my favorite moments.
the NT game.
NT, yeah, that was awesome.
Absolutely. And it was.
Oh, you guys like that one too.
That was, we got in trouble for running onto the field.
Now, girls, and this was the clip that got a lot of views, that the one that we're going to beat, we're going to get more than 1,200. The story that Trainer Joe was talking about, how me, after the Lockport game where we beat them in the semifinals that first year, where I ran on the field and I did this. As players, what are your thoughts? Like, do you like it when you see that emotion coming from your coach? As if you don't already know, I'm a pretty fiery guy on the sideline. Coach Frank is a pretty fiery guy on the sideline, all in good ways, I hope. But as players, do you like it when you see that passion, that fire, that I guess craziness from your coaches on the sideline?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, your coach has got to love the game too for you to like really love it. And it's like when you see them like fighting for you or showing passion to it, really makes you like competitive, makes you want more.
For sure. It makes you want to buy in, and exactly.
She said it perfect.
You literally said it perfectly.
Beautiful. Listen, Coach, I'm all about running on the field again. So
all right, we're doing it.
We win sectionals. We're running on. And I remember when we got called into Mr. McKenna's office.
I thought he was gonna tell you something that we got in trouble.
Or about the parking.
It was about our parking in the back or something.
Which I got in trouble for a lot last year. But I told him straight up, I was like, listen, the second I can't run on the field or can't celebrate my team is the second I start retiring. And the second I give it up, because you guys work hard just as much as us coaches work hard. I'm going to celebrate the victories just as much as you celebrate the victories. The second I can't do that is I hang it up. I hang up the whistle for good, because you're from the middle of August all the way for us until the beginning of November. You're coaching these group of kids. You're working hard with these group of kids. You're talking about the sport. You're figuring out how to run practices. You're talking about strategies. Why not? Why not celebrate? You work hard for a win. Winning's not everything, but it's damn sure fun. And when you win, you should celebrate. Just like when you girls win on the field, I want you to celebrate. Now, I don't want you to excessively celebrate and go rub it into the face of the other team and ha 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 ha. I've kind of done that as a player a few times.
But you also can get happy and excited, and we're not trying to show anybody up. We're just celebrating, and that was it. Especially after the tough loss to the same team we endured last year, that it was a big win, and it's against a lot of these guys play with and against a lot of these girls all year round. They're teammates with them too, so it's that same thing. So, and we're not trying to show them up. We love them very much, but we just
it's more like we have a mutual respect for each other, when we play against each other. So I know it wasn't the girls that took it to heart. We were all celebrating and happy because we would have been happy for them if they won. It was a cool win. It was a really cool win.
Yep. I mean, winning is fun, but losing is a part of the game. Losing builds character. Losing makes you work harder the next time, or at least it should. You win with class. You lose with class. You celebrate. And Coach, you and I have celebrated a lot of wins last year, but at the same time, we're the first ones in the line. We're shaking every one of those players' hands that we just played. We're shaking their coaches' hands, telling them what a great job they did. And that's the beauty of sports, especially sometimes your program is going to have a lot of talent and do a lot of well. Sometimes your program is going to have to fight and scratch and claw for every single win, and sometimes those wins don't come. So you coach long enough, you play long enough, you've played with good teams, you've basically played with bad teams, and you've learned to deal with each one of those aspects of sports. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about everybody's favorite topic, injuries. I know. First, now, Emma, you're coming off the ACL injury. First of all, how is it going? Obviously, you're back playing softball. So is it 100%? Is it still kind of restrictions? Tell us a little bit, first of all, about your update. And kind of we'll talk a little bit, too, as we go on, as how you felt right after the injury, as the season went on, and the rehab process.
All right, so I've been fully clear for maybe about a month now, but, taking it back slower for soccer because softball kind of is more my number one. Softball I got cleared for, I think it was 5.5 months post-op.
Wow.
And
cyborg.
And that was that's the best feeling in the world, honestly. It was just because the physical part of PT was awful, but the mental toll it takes on you was really that's like the gut punch. Honestly, it's a lot, but it's like all the little milestones in between there and getting clear that like feel like it feels really good. And then that first game back for softball was electric. It was so exciting.
I cried.
I was going to say, talk a little bit about that first game back. Were you nervous at all? Did you have any, were you confident on your knee, or did you have, no, I can't do this, I can't do that, I got to watch my swing, I got to watch my step? Talk a little bit about any nerves or just your feelings in general getting back to that first game.
So I really trusted like what my doctor said. They said take it back lightly, but like, as an athlete, it's kind of hard to just like, no, you can't go all out. So, I mean, on the field, I just played my game. I knew like things I couldn't do. Like I couldn't slide legs first. I couldn't get in the pickle. Like nothing that put a lot of pressure on my knee. But like my first at bat was like the crowd was screaming. It felt really good. And then outfield felt good. It felt good all around. Just like knowing that there were certain things I couldn't do was hard to like kind of keep in my head just because I am so competitive. But
how many games?
Head first slides in the second game.
Second game. Me and Luciana are at the second game, and we're sitting with her mom, and she can't slide the second slide.
I can hear my mom screaming. I was like, oh no, Emma.
Like, sorry, I forgot. But how many games into it when you were like, when it was totally out of your head? Like it wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even an issue. Like how many, did it take a couple games, or was it just like, I got through that first at bat, I got through that first inning, game on, let's go?
Yeah, like honestly, after the first at bat and first outfield catch, I felt like myself again. I did a few practices before then that felt really good, but it was still like a little bit of like nerves, like, I don't want to take it too hard and risk something again. But I made sure like my pregame ritual, like a lot of stretching. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, Luch, you came back your first year when you played for me. You were coming off of quite a significant, was it a foot injury, ankle injury? And you can kind of see like in the beginning, I could tell that the talent was there, but you were kind of tentative during tryouts. You were kind of tentative during games. You could tell you wanted to go on it. Talk a little bit about that first season and kind of dealing with that pretty significant, probably more significant than I even knew, ankle injury that first year.
Yeah, it was really discouraging getting that injury in the time that I did, because I knew that I wanted to play varsity and try out. And when I went into the season, I had about 2 weeks to get back into shape after being out the whole summer. I was out from like June till 2 weeks before tryouts in August, and I tried my best to get back into shape, but I knew I wasn't going to be fully there. And I was very shy with the ball and just played very easy to it. I was nervous to get hurt again. Everything was like scary to go after. And especially when you're playing on a team that has been so successful in the past, I knew that going in was going to be a challenge, and it was going to be 10 times harder because I wasn't at my fullest potential that I could have been at. But I think that season really prepared me and taught me how to that I need to work hard for what I want. And it made me work even harder to get back to the spot that I was, so that I could have a great next season. And that's what happened.
And then Alyssa, playing with her, obviously, she's your cousin. You've played with her for years and years and years and years and years. You know what type of a player she is. You were getting significant playing time that year. Emma was getting significant playing time that year. Talk a little bit about knowing what type of player Luciana was. Was it kind of a little bit of a struggle for you, kind of seeing her on the sidelines a little bit more, knowing that she was more of a reserve player where she'd kind of come in, get maybe 5-10 minutes a game? Talk a little bit from your aspect. How did you feel about that?
So, I mean, obviously she's my cousin. She's my teammate too, and I've played with her every single team. There's never been a soccer team I've been on that Luciana has not been on, and she's my right hand man there. I know she's gonna save me if I miss the ball, and if she misses the ball, I'll track back and I'll get to her. And I knew us three coming in. Emma was on varsity her freshman year, but me, Brielle, and Luciana played JV freshman year, but that was really good for us. We can get into that, but we came up, and I knew that we were going to have to work hard because obviously the talent on that team is insane. But I knew that Luciana is to par with every single person on that team. And when I started, Brielle started, Emma started, and Luciana didn't start. It's the first team I've ever been on that's ever happened. And I knew her potential. And it was hard, like, even all summer, not having her out there with us. We had to rearrange our whole team. We had forwards. Now she's a center back. I mean, she played, like, midfield forward, Maya Dorgan. Now she's center back, but she had to learn her spot. Like, it's just, like, hard going to that. But I knew that like Luciana, the type of person she is like she wasn't gonna take that as like, okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna sit here and whatever, I'll watch everybody play. I knew it was gonna light a fire underneath her and make her work even harder to get back to where she was before her injury. And I'm just so happy that she took that path instead of another, because you saw how phenomenal of a season she had our junior year, and it was everything happens for a reason, I always say. So I know it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember during your guys' sophomore year, my first year, where you could tell it was kind of mid-season. Luciana was getting to that point. She was kind of fighting back in, getting more and more minutes. And then I forgot which game it was, but it was kind of like a little bit of a setback. Like, oh no, like it wasn't a big setback that kind of took you out, but it was, I forgot, I think you went in for a 50-50 ball and kind of maybe didn't hurt the ankle as much as you did before, but it was kind of a little bit of an injury setback.
I think that was this year.
Yeah.
Was that this year? I know there was a beginning part of the year.
He got hurt toward the end of the sophomore year too, but
yeah,
you're right.
I thought there was.
It did happen again this year too.
Luciana
yeah, I remember it happened. It was this year. I want to say it was real early on though. This year.
It was
this year I want to say it was like the first or second game, third game maybe.
First week of October. It was like I think October 4th, and it was a non-league game, and I had like collided with a girl, and then I literally couldn't see the bones in my feet for like about 3 weeks. It was so swollen.
Right.
So she would just play our.
But she played.
Yes, that was October was rough. We were resting you. Obviously, we had Emma go down. We were resting you. Layla was banged up in net. We had a lot of the bumps and bruises of a long season were really starting to show, which we'll talk a little bit about load management real quickly. And I know you guys are up against it. So we'll talk about load management. We'll do our questions, 5 hot seat questions. Then we can get you guys out of here. But is it important nowadays? Coach, you can kind of talk a little bit more about this. Is it important for load management to okay, like you said, on lesser teams, we're only going to play you guys maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes? Or do you feel it's more of like, no, we're playing 80 minutes, 90 minutes a game?
These
like,
guys are
get
competitors, so they always want to play. They don't want to come off the field, and I get that. But, yeah, I think it's up to us. The onus is on us to say, okay, this is a time where you can rest your body a little bit, and also be smart about your decisions in between games. And you know, if we had 3 tough games in a week, we're not going to run wind sprints in practice. We'll have an easier practice and do more walkthrough stuff. So that's on us to manage that way. And, right, it's fun. You do some fun stuff and take it out, because it's a grueling season, and these guys don't play, you know, the like when we played the school season, and then you would play something else, and you played these guys, no matter what, even though they're playing in school, when school's done, even if they're playing basketball or running track or playing lacrosse, the club season is the other 10 months out of the year. So they're playing, either practicing or playing games, winter B and winter A at Sportsplex and all summer. So club sports, and then so Emma is doing that and then still playing softball a lot of the year as well. So it takes its toll. So yeah, I think load management is important. Rest when you can, be smart with your body, and Emma made a great point about stretching and preparing before, because you taking the field, just walking out there, you're just destined for those soft tissue injuries.
100%.
Emma would really like put it into perspective, like how important like stretching is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and I mean, thank goodness.
And I think we have to.
Yeah, no, and thank goodness it's not like back when me and Coach Frank played, where you know you were playing through concussions. Well, I don't even think did we even call them concussions back then? It was just you got your bell rung. You got your bell rung. You're fine. Get in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
back then the soccer ball was actually a rock. We kicked the rock, and then but
cement
football, if you got hit, you know, they just, you okay? Get back out there. There was no.
You okay?
There was no trainer Joes. There was no trainers. It was
3. Okay, you're good. Go on. You're close enough.
And it was, and thank goodness it's not like that, because the older you get, like there's times where I'll get out of bed, I'm like, ooh, that was that knee injury, that was that hip injury. I can't, like, it's, you literally, if you weren't on the field, you were getting ripped by your coach. So thank goodness stuff like that has changed, where you're not throwing kids in there that clearly shouldn't be playing. So it took sports a while, but we finally evolved. All right, so we're going to get into our 5 hot seat questions. In fact, this is perfect. We've got five people on here, 5 hot seat questions. So everybody will get a chance to ask one question. Now, remember, you ask the question, you also have to answer the question. It can be about sports, it can be about soccer, it can be about anything. In fact, I'll start it off. What sport, not a sport that you've played, like Emma, you can't say softball or soccer. None of you can say soccer. You can't say flag football. One sport that you wish you would have played, whether in high school or in the future, like you can see yourself playing. One sport, don't need to have any experience in it. One sport that you wish you would have played. For me, I've said football before, but I'm going to backtrack. I wish I would have wrestled in high school. I wish I would have done wrestling. I give all the credit. I think wrestlers and swimmers are some of the most athletic people, guys or girls, guys swimming, guys wrestling, girls wrestling. I think they are some of the most athletic all around pound for pound athletes. I wish I would have done wrestling back in high school. Obviously football too, but today I'm going to say wrestling. All right. Anybody, one sport that you wish you would have played or can see yourself playing in the future?
Mine's softball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any reason why softball?
I started getting into it when I was like 7, and then it just like I just didn't.
I don't know.
I don't
Well, then
really
you
know
did
what
competitive
I
dance.
do know.
and
I
then-
do know.
dance
I do know. I see this all the
But-
time.
I really love the environment in softball. Like I like that they cheer and do the chants. Like I think it's just like so fun. And I go to their games and I'm like, I want to be in the dugout. They call me team manager. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with hockey.
I was
gonna say
gonna say
hockey.
hockey too.
I would
I
say
want
hockey.
to check people.
Me too. And I like ice skating, and it's like fun. You could throw somebody in the
Yeah,
legs.
exactly.
I
was
want to
gonna
get
say
into the
hockey.
penalty box.
Yeah.
I wish soccer had
Okay.
But hockey is like similar to lacrosse, kind of.
Yeah, I was going to say or especially with indoor soccer, I feel like hockey translates over to that very well. All right, so we got Luch playing
It's like
softball.
every sport in the world.
So I've been fortunate enough to play a lot of sports. I went to Niagara Catholic, didn't have a soccer team, so I played football. I played basketball. I played tennis. I never played baseball, but I don't have that. I played softball. Just I slow pitch softball is not like fast pitch softball.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's very slow. So I couldn't say any of those. I think for me it would either be lacrosse
Okay.
or ice hockey. Growing up we played floor hockey at the boys club on 19th Street Boys Club. For St. Joe's, we played floor hockey, so I did that. So I think it would have translated. If I could learn how to skate, I think I would have loved to play ice hockey, but definitely lacrosse. I never played it, and I watch Alyssa play now, and I throw the ball a little bit with her. I think I would have had a lot of fun with lacrosse.
Beautiful. All right, put you guys on the hot seat now. Who's got the next question?
Coach, how was your trip to Italy?
Oh my gosh, jealous.
Listen, we've been on an Italy kick over the last 6 years. This was our 3rd time going. We did all southern Italy. So we did Calabria, we did Matera, we did Puglia, we did Monopoli. I loved it. It was a very ambitious trip. It was a lot of cities, and we were there 8 nights, but I loved it every time. That's the dream. Hopefully, not to name my age, but hopefully 10, 15 years, towards retirement. I'd love to retire to Italy. My wife would love to retire to Italy. It's just every time we go there, it's just, man, this is it. It just feels like home. It is beautiful. So we'll kind of segment that into best vacations. How about that, Coach, for a question? Best vacations.
I did do a specific question. So
That's okay.
It's been soccer all summer, but we did get to do a cool side trip. Well, we're big fans of the band OAR, and OAR
very nice.
was playing at Red Rocks in Colorado near Denver. So I got to see one of my favorite bands in a place is a bucket list place, Red Rocks, the amphitheater there. It's literally a concert hall carved into a big rock, into a mountain in Denver, Colorado. It was surreal. It was pretty awesome. It was a great experience. And then we did some hiking in the mountains, and we did this whole thing. So it was really a great trip. So I recommend Denver, Colorado. And if you could see a concert at Red Rocks, do it.
Beautiful. Girls, how about you? Favorite vacation or I guess life experience?
My favorite, I have two. I have two favorite vacations, and both were very different. My first, Texas. Literally, I would move to Texas if I could, but it's just like the environment is great, the food is great, everybody's so nice there. I love it there. Whatever, won't get into that.
Mhm.
Second, St. Lucia. It's beautiful. I've never been more relaxed in my entire life. Like, Luciana came with us. It was just so much fun. Like, genuinely, I was like, this is just, it doesn't even feel real. And it was just, like, the best trip ever. But it was so pretty
Beautiful.
there.
Emma, Luch?
I'm gonna have to go with Punta Cana. Same idea,
Ooh, very
really
nice.
relaxed and really fun. And we usually go with like a family friend of ours, like a group, and it's like kids my age too, so it's really fun.
Okay.
I loved St. Lucia, but that's not like a trip you can. That's like once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
But I love Arizona. Like I want to. If it wasn't so hot, I would move there, like, and go to college there. But it is so hot; it's like unbearable. Like I went in February and it was like 90, and it's so hot. Like it gets to 120 in the summer.
Oh, yeah. They call it a dry heat, but still 120 is 120.
Yeah.
All right. So myself and Coach have gotten the questions. Girls, who's going to give the first athlete question?
If you had to be any athlete in the world, who would you be? I know mine.
You can answer it.
Josh Allen,
Oh.
King of Buffalo.
Listen, future
It
Super Bowl
wasn't-
champion.
Everybody wants to be Josh Allen.
He's a great athlete. But if I'm talking about girls' sports, I'd probably want to be Trinity Rodman or Carly Lloyd. Very good.
Okay.
Those are good.
Two very good players.
What about you, Dad?
Go ahead.
I'm struggling with this one. Coach, if you've got an answer, go ahead.
I'm gonna stick with myself.
Oh, look at that. There's the
I got
confidence.
my
There's
answer
the
too.
confidence.
If I had to be any athlete, I would be Emma
Emma
Hurley.
Hurley.
Yeah.
There's the confidence.
I'd either be probably Alex Morgan.
Okay.
He's just
Like
so
yeah,
viral.
so like
It's LeJean Brains.
he's very popular, so I would.
Jordan's better.
LeBron James.
LeJean Brains.
And everyone calls him the king, so like
Get out.
Jordan's better. All right. I you know what? I'm going to go with Pele. Obviously one of the best players on the field, but also just what he did for the sport, just the like he was such an ambassador for the sport, for his country. So I'm going to go with Pele. I think that greatest player, but also just a all-around great guy, total ambassador for the sport.
Awesome. So I'll say Alessandro Del Piero
I knew you were going to say that.
or Andrea Pirlo, two of my
Yeah.
favorite players of all time that played for Italy and Juve, and Pirlo also played for Milan. But yeah, those are just magicians on the field and icons off the field, especially Del Piero.
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right.
Which got
Luch,
one.
Emma,
Okay.
who's up?
What is your go-to pregame snack?
Ooh, that's a good one. Do you
I
want to
have
go first?
I have mine. Okay, so my order has changed now, but me and Alyssa will go to Starbucks before games. I get I would get a strawberry acai refresher with
Yeah.
peach juice and no berries
Mhm.
to get the energy up. And then when you're hungry after school, you got to get the bacon gouda and egg
Got it.
sandwich. It is
You
so good.
have to get a bacon gouda.
And
Can
it
I
is
interrupt
my
with a
favorite
question?
food. Yes.
Did you eat that before our second tournament game on Sunday?
No, we ate it after, actually. So we.
No, not after the first game. The first game we rocked.
Oh yeah, we ate it in between.
In between,
Yeah.
we're taking that off the list, Coach. We came out very flat in that second
But-
A
game.
little
I-
sluggish in the second game.
I have a strawberry acai refresher before every single game.
Sure.
Literally every single game, and I can't play a game if I don't have it because it's like a good luck thing. And then also, I'll eat either a bacon gouda. I like to have that after, a butter croissant before from Starbucks.
Carbo
Halftime, an orange Gatorade, and a B12 every single
The
game.
B12s. I remember that was great
B12
this
is
year.
Very important.
From the
It's
medicine
very
kit.
important. Sometimes, we'll have a little bit of the watermelon Sour Patch Kids on the sidelines.
Amigo.
I'm a chicken and rice
Um,
kind of girl.
Oh, she's so
Chicken and
hungry.
rice?
Yeah. For every game.
Okay.
Especially school softball. Before every game, I eat it in my car.
Actually, during sophomore year, me and you and Brielle had lunch together, and we had to eat the same meal every game. And I had breakfast pizza. You had a chicken patty, right?
Yeah. Chicken patty.
But we played good. All right, what about
Very superstitious. Coach, what about you?
I don't have a ritual. I probably should eat less of whatever I'm eating, and then I'd be okay. I think back in the day, I think
liquid IV?
I think my mom would always make me a big dish of pasta, and I would carbo load, and that was just the way it was. Even though as bad as that is, that's what I would eat.
Listen, talk about bad. Mine, and I'm going to admit I have really, over the last couple months, cut this out. But for years, it was always before practices, before games, I'd stop by Tim Hortons, and I'd come with the Oreo ice cap which again, definitely not the healthiest thing in the world, but a medium Oreo ice cap. I'm sure you've seen me on the sidelines with them, practices, games. But I have gone, I feel like I'm an AA here. I have gone 3 months without an Oreo ice cap or ice cap of
Wow.
any kind.
Coach, you're in recovery.
I'm in recovery. I'm in ice cap recovery. All right, Emma, last question. Bring it home.
What is your opinion on starters versus non-starters? Me personally, okay, so I've been on both ends of it. Freshman year, I was on the non-starters end of it. And I was like a lot smaller than everybody else too, but I still like really liked it. It felt really competitive. And then now, like after that, when I was on the starters end of it, that's when I liked it even more because it just could do my thing out there.
I like it. I think it pushes.
So you're saying
everybody.
when we scrimmage starters versus non-starters instead of mixing it up?
Yeah.
I think it pushes everybody. It builds chemistry with who is going to be playing together on the field, and it also builds confidence for people to be able to know I can take somebody one-on-one. I know that Emma's going to go make that corner run over there instead of I'm playing against Emma and I have to defend Emma. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. I love starters versus non-starters. And honestly, most of the time when we do it, 9 out of 10 times, I'm looking at my non-starters more than I'm looking at my starters. I know what my starters can do. I know what they're going to bring every practice, every game. I'm looking for a non-starter who's going to be like, oh, wow, this person can challenge for a starting defensive spot. This person, I could use more minutes in midfield. This person, like I'm looking who's going to be that non-starter that's going to step up and show me that they're ready to push for a starter's position. So I love it. I think it breeds competition. And like I said, more often than not, I'm looking at my non-starters and who's going to push for somebody's spot.
That's a great point, Coach. I like that too. I do like challenging though, and I do like, especially if we're running drills in, so you can go like a 6v4 coming in. So you have your starters on forward and midfield going against your starting defense as more of a drill, because now iron sharpens iron, right? So you're going the best
I like it in
against the
drills,
best.
not in scrimmages.
So, but I do get what you're saying in terms of the continuity, because now if we put them all on the field at the same time, now, especially if these kids are coming from different clubs, they're not playing together all year round, and any time on the field where you can build some chemistry and continuity, that's always a good thing as well. So I think on that,
and it's got to be a healthy mix. It's got to be a healthy mix. You can't always do starters, non-starters. You can't always do starting defense against starting offense. It's got to be a healthy mix, but definitely something that is, I love it. It breeds competition. But like you said, too, iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. You want your top defenders taking on your top scorers and vice versa. So it's great. But with everything, it's just all about how you use it. It's all about having a healthy balance of how you use it.
What about you, Luch?
When my first year, I hated the idea of starters versus non-starters, because it was like you're playing with obviously a weaker side, and that's known, but you're playing against Caitlin Parker and Marissa Rickard, who are top players in the league, and it was very like, if they score on you, you get down on yourself. And I think that was the biggest part for me was, well, I'm not showing coach that I can be this good of a player because I'm playing against people who are at a completely different level than me, but it also taught me that I needed to work harder. So I think that's what people can learn. And obviously when I got to the starter side of it, it's fun, but it's discouraging for the other side. But it also teaches them like, hey, this is where the level that I need to be at to be able to defend these good players or score on these good players. So,
well, I think the other part of that is, right, that you should know and should be known that you're not locked into one side or the other, that you can earn your way up into the other side. So if you work hard and everything, you might get a shot on the other side of the coin. And I think this year there's a lot less established than there has been in the past.
Well, last year we had our whole team returning.
We walked in with a group of superstars that have been there for a few years, right? Even before you, a lot of them, even like Emma predates you on varsity. So like a lot of those people were just built in. So now there's going to be a lot of spots open, right? We have our established superstars, and then we have some, we have a lot of people that we know are up and coming. I think, if we want to segue real quick, I know we don't have a lot of time, but into this coming season, it's obviously going to be a challenge to replace 11 seniors, and 6 of them starters. But I know we're going to sneak up on some teams. Everybody's going to take us lightly. And we have some young players who are pretty good, and they're going to prove that they're pretty good. And we're going to, like I said, sneak up on some teams. And you cannot replace the Wheatfield heart. I see it all the time. We win tournaments because of, on the boys' side, we have a ton of Wheatfield players, but on the girls' side, same. It's all heart. So.
Yeah, we've all talked about this a lot. Like, obviously, like, we're the oldest on the team now, and like that's crazy for us. But we're gonna take that leadership like on like full force, and we're going to create a good environment and create a good team culture. Win or lose, and we're gonna try to win for each other. And at the end of the day, hard work beats talent every time. And I think that we can definitely catch teams without working.
Yeah. We already see it in captain's practice too, because
they want it.
Everyone wants the heart, and everyone wants to make it to the
varsity,
top team and play on varsity. And I think that everyone's willing. Like the fact that we had 16 girls last week was just
at
insane.
like in the morning. Too. Like that's really good.
I was very happy.
Yeah.
About that.
Can I tell you how I don't know if you can see the big smile I have on my face, though, just hearing this from my captains, I can't tell you how blessed I am just to coach and be a part of this team. It has really, truly been, like I said, almost rejuvenating. It's been awesome. It's been unbelievable. Speaking of that, I know you guys have practice, so we're going to wrap things up here. I feel like, I know I gave you guys a bunch of topics that we could have talked at. I feel like we could have go for like another 2-3 hours here. So we definitely open invite. We have to have you guys back on for another episode, another 2, 3, 4. Coach, you're always, if you want to be a co-host, you let me know. We'll very quickly change this to the Coach Larry and Coach Frank podcast.
Open, non-busy schedule. So anytime you want, I got you. But I'll always make time for you, Coach.
Absolutely.
And I love doing this. It's a lot of fun always.
Listen, if you're not co-hosting with me, you should think about getting your own show, the Frank Strangio show. That's $1 million view there.
We have one listener, Frank Strangio.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming on. Remember, you guys can catch the show on Spotify, on YouTube at Coach Larry 11. Again, we're looking for views. So girls, make sure once that episode comes out, once those shorts come out, we're going to get more views than Trainer Joe. Right now, 1275 is the weekly number to beat. So, but thank you for coming on, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Coach Larry's podcast. And as always, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Bye.
Go Falcons.